Well, hello from my porch. I am Twisted Cooking Lady, also known as Twisted Art Lady, and my name is Samantha. Today, we are going to talk about pizza dough. Are you ready? Well, let's not waste any time and let's get to it. But I do want to go ahead and let you know that I am going to continue with this dough recipe coming very, very soon, and we're going to talk about what else you can do with this dough. So much fun. Anyone can do it. You guys stay tuned. Hit that subscribe button. Alright, let's go inside. Here we are inside, about to start this pizza dough. I have a good size mixing bowl here, and to that I am going to add 2 cups of pretty warm water. Not hot, you guys. You don't want to kill the yeast. That would be a no-no. And to the water, I am adding 2 tablespoons of sugar and 2 tablespoons, this is the sugar, 2 tablespoons of active dry yeast. Sometimes words are hard, you guys. All this in there. So, just gonna kind of stir this up. I'm also going to go on ahead and add about 2 tablespoons of olive oil. If you add a little bit extra, it's not a big deal. Honestly, it'll add some flavor. Alright, that's plenty well mixed up. So now I'm going to let this proof and make sure that my yeast is good. And I am going to leave the camera on with the time lapse while this is doing its thing. So I had an oopsie. As you can see, this is a different bowl. I guess there is some kind of a hole in my other bowl. That rhymes. So I had to quickly put it into another bowl, and this is frothing. I'm gonna go on ahead and move on to the next step. I had to cancel that timer there. Alright, I'm sorry about that. I had to stop and restart, and you can see the froth, by the way. You see how it's like foamy? That's how I know that my yeast is working, and of course it is. I actually just bought this yeast, and I've used it once, and I know it works very, very well. Wow, look at all the foam. So awesome. Alright, I'm going to get this out of the way, because this is going to get a little bit messy. Then the next thing that I need to do, I'm going to go on ahead and add the salt. This is 2 teaspoons of sea salt. Everybody get in there. And I'm going to start adding 4 cups of flour, 4 to 5 cups of flour. So I'm going to go in with 4 cups, and then if I need more, I can add up to another cup. And in my experience, I usually need it. So here's a little tip for you. I never ever, when I'm working with flour, I never use the scoop to scoop the flour. I keep a spoon and a butter knife in my flour container so that I can spoon the flour into the measuring cup and then use the knife to scrape it off to where so it'll be level. So I scoop it with the spoon. This way you're not packing the flour into the cup. It's a little bit important. Even better would be for me to weigh the flour. So I'm going to do this over here so it's a little neater. Scoop it with the spoon. Level it off with the butter knife. I'm going to go ahead and mix this 2 cups in first. Now you can really see how active that yeast is. Look at it. It's just a bubbling. I love playing with yeast, you guys. I really need to get into making breads and stuff. Especially, I want to get into making a sourdough. But, you know, I want to get into making all kinds of other breads too. And I have some experience in that. I have done it a little bit. Just can't say that I have tons of experience with it, but you guys, I highly suggest you play with bread. It is so much fun. And I do want to do it more, and I will do it more. And hopefully become an artisan bread maker and make beautiful breads for my family and for gifts. Homemade bread is a wonderful gift. Cup 3. Let's go ahead and mix this in too, because here in a minute it's about to get a little harder to stir in. And then it will be time for kneading this. All right, 1 more cup. That's 4 cups, if you were counting with me there. So now I'm going to bring this together pretty well with my spoon. Oh, the smell of the yeast is so wonderful. If you want amazing pizza at home, this is the way to do it. Don't buy store-bought crust. It's just not as good, I assure you. I've tried all the things because, you know, I love pizza. So, now I'm going to go ahead and make a mess on my counter. Even more, because I know that this is that extra cup that I was talking about. This dough is going to absorb most of the whole 5th cup. So, the next thing to do is to bring this dough onto the counter. I really should be using a mat, and I'm not, and what that really just means is that I have a lot of cleaning to do when I'm done with this, but you know, it's not really that big of a deal. It'll take me about 2 minutes to scrub my counter. Try and get all of this off of there within reason. That's good enough. Okay. Gonna get messy now. And you're just gonna knead this until it comes into a nice ball. I'm gonna add just a little more flour here. I'm gonna flip this over. There we go. You do not need fancy kneading skills for this. This is easy. You just want to fold it a bit and knead. You're forming gluten right now. If you try this. And I hope you do, because this is so much fun. So much fun. So I'm adding more already only because I know that this dough is still pretty sticky. As I fold it, I can feel the stickiness. So I'm just adding more flour because I know it's that sticky. You want it to not be sticky. You want to form this into a non-sticky ball. Reasonably non-sticky. It's going to be just a little bit sticky. I have made this before and I know. I do try to scrape off what tries to stick to my counter. You see, it's really not hard at all. At this point, let's give the counter a little bit more flour. I think a few more kneads and we will be there. Yeah. See how it's not sticky anymore? I mean, it's still sticking a little bit, but it's it's not sticky like it was before. So I'm going to try and get as much of this off my hands as possible. And I'm going to show you a trick real quick. My hands were clean, of course. Always wash your hands when you're cooking because these right here are your best utensils in your kitchen. For most things. For a lot of things. So, the trick to getting stuff like this off your hands is to pour just a little bit of flour into your hands. And just rub. Just rub. And most of it will come off and you won't have to scrub it in the sink as much. So I'm going to knead these bits into my dough. When you knead, you fold it over and kind of roll it into the counter. Did y'all hear my husband snore? That's funny. Alright. Snore it on my video. I'll tell you what. So, before this gets stuck to the counter again, let me put this in the sink. Olive oil. Right back in the same bowl I was already working with. Good bit. Good bit. And then put my dough ball in there. Give it a little zhuzh around. Flip it over. Make sure it's fully coated in olive oil so it does not stick to my bowl. And this bad boy is going to sit and get much bigger. You can let this proof for as long as you want. I would say at least 15 to 30 minutes. But I'm going to go for an hour or two because I want the flavor of that yeast to develop really well. And, you know, your dough will taste better and you're going to have loads of air bubbles in it if you do that. Alrighty, here we go. While I let this sit, I'm going to find a warm place in my kitchen for it. And I'm going to cover it with a towel and just let it do its thing for an hour or two. and I will be back when that has happened and I'm ready to work. When I'll be back when that has happened to show you the results of a fully ready to go dough. All right.